Good morning. Just testing my audio. Thank you.
Good morning. Sorry, I couldn't get off mute fast enough.
I started wondering if it was my computer, my laptop here.
It's not you, it's us.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It might be during. I mute less than we normally do, but I'll be doing a bunch of talking anyway. So, you know, normally I like to mute us so they can't hear this discussion. You're not. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, thank you.
Morning, Pam.
Morning.
It's not raining.
That's a good thing right now.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. You mean it was raining?
It was. It was a little bit here and there, It's our normal kind of winter, back in the day.
Wow. Ken, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Yeah, busy and lots of things going on. And yeah, no, doing well. How about you guys? How's the
Same.
city?
Same.
Same.
Staying busy. We thought the interest rates would kind of slow things down, and it has on some of the smaller stuff, but right before the code change in December, a ton of like large buildings,
Wow.
7 stories, 8 stories. 10
Yeah.
stories.
No. That's great. I mean, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah, I was surprised to see it, but a lot of them.
yeah. Okay. And most of those are residential, either apartment buildings or HOAs or.
Yeah, most of them are mixed use, maybe retail on the first floor and then residential above.
Yep.
I got an unusual one. I got a 10-story, but it's 8 stories of parking with 2 stories of office at the top.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, which I had not never seen. So that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It's my view looks out to San Francisco, and I can see the big Salesforce building sticking up. And they were just talking about a news report about how still the financial district of San Francisco is pretty empty. It's like, maybe 30%, and they estimate maybe 30% of the folks are, back. And, the big question is whether or not they're going to ever get back to, closer to full occupancy. So anyway, just fascinating how it's the sort of pandemic has really sort of distributed and changed where people work and where businesses choose to have their offices. So
I agree. I just saw that Beacon economics report that came out, and it was 21% of folks in Southern California are working from home, not
right,
going back to the office. But it was even higher in the Bay Area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Definitely. I mean, obviously, because San Francisco, Silicon Valley, primarily tech folks who can do their work remotely, right? So, and here we are remotely.
And here we are. Hi, James. How are you?
Morning. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Doing good. Busy down here in San Jose.
Great.
Yeah, good.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mia.
Good to see you all. We'll get started in a couple of minutes here.
Looking at the minutes, the first meeting was quite long, and then fortunately the second 2 meetings were very short. So
And if this one's short, that means the next one's gonna be really, really long. Hey, Mia, has the state fire marshal turned in their amendments for the existing building code to you guys yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'll go over that in my ED overview, but that's a great question. So be ready to ask that so everyone else has the benefit of that, because I'll be talking about how we're preparing for the code advisory committee meetings.
Okay.
How are we doing on technology? Okay. Okay. And YouTube's working? Yeah, we have off. Sorry about that. check this real quick. I think Beyonce's, okay, Beyonce's on too. Do we have all our commissioners on, Pam?
No, we're waiting for Commissioner Mickelton, Commissioner Klaus Buckner, and Commissioner Ramirez.
Okay, so we'll just wait a couple more minutes.
Okay.
And just for your all benefit is we've got some new laptops in here. And one of the minor things I'm experiencing is a real delay in the remote mouse muting and unmuting. So I'm probably going to stay unmuted for most of this meeting, and we'll resolve that before the next meeting. So we'll have to be careful in this room that we're quiet while others are talking. Yeah, these microphones are fantastic. They pick up everything. So I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Yeah, the mics are great. I mean, they are very clear, so which is wonderful.
Mhm.
We were also able to update the video connections and things like that. So we're, at least it appears in this room, we're a little bit more HD today. And on our end, I'm kind of, we're a little taller than we normally are, I think, but I don't know how to solve that problem.
That's usually good. So
It's like a circus mirror.
I feel like on Zoom, everybody is 5'2". And so when I meet people in person and they're tall, I'm always surprised. I'm like, I had no idea you were 5'8", 5'10", 6'2". All right, how are we doing?
We're still waiting for those 3 commissioners.
Okay.
And Pam, I know you do a good job, but have they pinged you at all, or?
No, let me
We don't know if they're having any technical difficulties on their end.
no, let me see here. No, I've got no notification. I can call them if you'd like. Because they're not on the attendee side. I'll go ahead and contact them. Just a moment.
Because she's not attending today. We do know she's not attending. Oh, we can't swear Laura in because she's not attending, Pam. We just remember that. So Frank. So we have 11 commissioners. So there's 6. Me. Plus her.
Oh, sorry. So I make 6.
Yeah.
So that would establish a quorum. How do we feel about, we believe we have a quorum. We are waiting for 3 members. Do we want to start with some of the housekeeping items and start the meeting, or do we want to give a couple more minutes? I want to be sensitive to all of your time as well.
Commissioner Mickelton is signing in right now.
I'm okay to wait a few more minutes.
As am I. I'm good.
Give it a couple more then.
Commissioner Ramirez is logging in as well, and I just couldn't get a hold of Commissioner Klossbuchner.
Thank you.
And there's a little trouble logging in to Zoom. I had problems logging into Zoom, and they're having the same kind of problem. So just a delay, I think. Just a delay.
I think that we'll go ahead and get started. Um, Welcome and thank you all for coming today. My name is Miriam Barcelona Ingenito, and I am the Undersecretary at the Government Operations Agency, as well as the chair of the California Building Standards Commission. I'm calling this meeting to order. It is 9:07 on January 19th, 2023. Ms. Pam Maeda, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Undersecretary Ignacio.
Present, Ingenito.
Ingenito, I'm sorry. Commissioner Mikatin.
Here.
Commissioner Sasaki.
Here.
Commissioner Haskin.
Here.
Commissioner Patel.
Here.
Commissioner Stockwell. He'll be arriving a little later. Commissioner Rambin. Commissioner Legre.
Here.
Commissioner Klossbuchner. Commissioner Santillan.
Good morning, I'm here.
And Commissioner Ramirez. He's trying to log on.
Still having log on issues, yes?
Yeah.
And I can't tell if
That
when it
gives
comes
us
on. Yeah,
Yeah, they'll let us know.
okay. Thank you, Ms. Maeda. We do have a quorum for this meeting. So I'm going to turn this to Ms. Barbara Tersley, please. Would you please load the flag for our Pledge of Allegiance, and we will all rise. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Ms. Mirabelli to please read the meeting instructions.
Will do. All right. Good morning, everybody. I'll go through the instructions real quick here. So this meeting is being held remotely, and this is consistent with Senate Bill 189, which authorizes a state body to hold public meetings through teleconferencing and to make public meetings accessible telephonically or otherwise electronically. Today's meeting can be viewed on the CBSC YouTube channel, which is linked in the meeting agenda. And I would like to remind the YouTube viewers that there's about a 45-second delay. The public may provide comments on each item by calling in on the Zoom teleconference number provided on the meeting agenda or by using the raised hand feature in Zoom. Instructions are provided on the CBSC webpage for the January 19th meeting commission page. If you have any difficulty with the technology, please call the Building Standards Commission office at area code 916-263-0916. And I will now read the public comment and Zoom instructions for everyone. If you wish to make a comment on a specific agenda item, please listen for the commission chair, Under Secretary Ingenito, to ask for any comments from the public. The chair will first go to the Zoom participants that have raised their hands, and then they'll go to the Zoom callers. The commission chair will take comments from the, excuse me, I reread that already. At this time, please take yourself off of mute when you're called on and choose to announce your name and who you represent before making your comment. But please mute yourself when you're done commenting. The chair will continue through the call queue until there are no questions remaining, and the commission will then proceed to the next agenda item. We ask that if possible, please call from a landline using the telephone handset only, rather than putting yourself on the speakerphone. The handset will enhance the commission's ability to hear your comments clearly, and it will also assist with the public hearing your comment as well. Calling from a speakerphone or a cell phone reduces the quality of the audio, and it makes it much difficult for your comments to be heard. Staff will summarize any written comments that were received by 5 p.m. on Thursday, January 12th. And to date, we have not received any written comments for the commission. So we don't have any of those items. And that is all from me on the meeting instructions. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, well, thank you so much. We're going to move on to agenda item number 2. And this is the reappointment of Commissioner Haskin. So I'm pleased to share that Governor Gavin Newsom reappointed both Laura Rankin and James Haskin for another 4-year term. But we'll have to swear in Laura at the next meeting. She was not able to make today. So again, just for folks, a little refresher. Mr. Haskin is the Director of Pre-Construction at All Temperature Service Air Conditioning Incorporated, and is a member of the Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors National Association. He was appointed to fill the licensed contractor member seat. And I will do Laura's introduction next when she's actually here, if that's okay. So if I'd like to congratulate you, but let me re-swear you in first, and then we'll congratulate. And I don't know how you do it here, but I like to stand up.
Sure.
So if I
We
can
can
have
do
you
that.
stand up and raise your hand, right hand, and repeat after me. I will leave a blank where I want you to state your name. I state your name.
I, James Daniel Haskin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I
am about to enter.
Staff, it looks like you guys are muted, at least on my screen.
Can you hear me?
I think they lost their connection altogether. I think that's someone else.
Yeah, we lost connection in the conference room. Just hold on for a moment. Okay, everybody, they're going to reconnect to Zoom. So it'll just take a few minutes for them to do that, and then we'll start the meeting back up again. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but they'll reconnect to Zoom in just a moment.
Are we back?
Yep, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear and see you.
Yes.
So we left on a cliffhanger. Did we get that last phrase from you, Mr. Haskin?
Yes, I did finish.
And I heard it, so.
Yeah, we all heard that. Yeah.
Wonderful. And then we dropped off and you were frozen like this. So my apologies. Congratulations on your reappointment. And we will make sure that we get the signed copies from both you and me together for the board itself. So a little excitement in our morning. So again, our apologies at this end for us having to reboot. But I'm ready to move on to item number 3, if that's okay, Mia.
Absolutely.
Agenda item 3 is comments from the public on issues not on this agenda. So comments regarding items not on the agenda may be briefly discussed, but no action may be taken by the commission. At this time, I would like to remind the public who wish to speak on item 3 to put yourself in the queue now by using the raised hand function on Zoom, or listen for the chair to ask for comments from the phone. So I'll check with you guys to see. So if you would like to identify yourself, please state your name clearly when called upon. So we'll start with Ms. Tersley. Can you please check Zoom and then the phone line for comments?
So we have a hand up from Robert.
Okay. Robert, could you unmute yourself and the floor is yours.
Yes, good morning. My name is Robert Glass. I work for Daikin Comfort Technologies, but I'm also speaking on behalf of the Air Conditioning, Heating, Refrigeration Institute, AHRI. The comments this morning have to do with the adoption by the state of California of the 2020 National Electric Code, the NEC. At this point, or as of January 2023, there are 31 states that have adopted the 2020 NEC, and 30 of those states have modified or delayed the effective of the section 210.8F that relates to GFCI requirements on outdoor outlets that affects HVAC equipment. The only state that has not done anything in regards to that is the state of California. And so at this point, I bring that information forward. The 2020 NEC went into effect January 1st, 2023 in the state of California. And we're concerned about nuisance trips of GFCIs in connection with HVAC equipment because of incompatibilities between GFCIs and HVAC equipment. NFPA issued a TIA on the 2020 NEC, which is TIA 20-19, and that exempts or delays the implementation of the 210.8F requirements on listed HVAC equipment until September 1, 2026. that is also included in the 2023 NEC. So at this point, I'm just bringing it forward that California is the only state that has adopted the 2020 NEC that has not done anything in regards to this. And we're concerned about nuisance tripping that may happen with new installations that, due to the current code, are required to be equipped with GFCI breakers. So I thank you for the opportunity to bring this forward, and I'm more than willing, if anybody has any questions now or in the future, would be more than willing to assist any of the groups there as necessary with additional information or anything to try to go ahead and address these issues that we believe are very severe for the California residents that may be unfortunate enough to have to deal with this occurrences. So thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to us.
Through the chair, may I?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll speak to that really quickly, and thank you for your comment, Mr. Glass. I know we've spoken in the past. I just wanted to make the commissioners aware of this topic has been discussed with several of the state agencies. And we're also working with Mr. Mike Stone and through Robert Glass as well. And BSC is considering issuing an information bulletin to explain this topic. And there's some challenges with the timing of the TIA and the rulemaking cycle here in California. And so we want to put the word out to the local jurisdictions and the design professionals that this TIA is published in the 2020 NEC, but then also it will be adopted in the 2023 NEC at the next code cycle. So I do appreciate your comment, Mr. Glass, and we're trying to work on a solution for that. And I can follow up after this meeting with you some more, Mr. Glass.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you. That would be great.
Ms. Tresley, do we have any other callers?
Okay, there are no other hands up. We do have one phone participant. So I'll give them permission to speak if they want to comment.
Go ahead on the telephone line with the phone number 408, starting with 408-500.
If they have a comment, they don't have a raise hand feature, so I just enable them to speak if they want.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Do you have a comment that you would like to make?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. I think that this, seeing no other hands, not having anybody else in the queue, this concludes agenda item number 3. So thank you again, Mr. Glass, for your comments. The next agenda item is item 4A, B, and C, which is the review and approval of prior meeting minutes. And we'll take action on each one of these separately. So for item A, January 18th and 19th, 2022 minutes from that hearing. Commissioners, do you have any comments regarding those minutes? See, I'm seeing shaking.
None for me.
No.
I will entertain a motion on the January 18th and 19th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Commissioner Sasaki moved to approve. And just to note, the next 2 meeting minutes, I wasn't present, so I will abstain on the votes for those 2 meetings. Thanks.
I have a motion. Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Commissioner Patel, second.
Great. It is moved and seconded that the January 2022 meeting minutes be accepted without amendment. Is there any other further discussion regarding this motion? Seeing none, we will now have a roll call vote. Ms. Maeda, please conduct the roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Mikatin,
Aye.
Commissioner Sasaki,
Aye.
Commissioner Alegre,
Aye.
okay. Commissioner Santillan,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
and Commissioner Haskin.
Abstain.
Thank you.
I wasn't counting, Miss Maeda. How many?
We have um, sorry. We have 6 yes and 1 abstain.
Okay, the motion is carried. So those minutes are adopted. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For item number 4B, commissioners, do you have any comments regarding the January 26th, 2022 meeting minutes? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion on the January 26th, 2022 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Commissioner
Commissioner
Patel.
McKitchen, motion to approve.
I have Mickelton,
Okay, do I have a second?
Commissioner
Patel.
Santillan, second.
Very good.
Commissioner Santillan, second.
It is moved and seconded that the January 26, 2022 meeting minutes be adopted without amendment. Is there any other further discussion on this motion? Hearing none, we will now have a roll call.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Santillan,
Aye.
Commissioner Haskin,
Abstain.
Commissioner Alegre,
Aye.
Commissioner Sasaki,
Abstain.
Commissioner Mickelton.
Aye.
We have 4 in favor and 2 abstain.
Hi, this is Viana Barbu, counsel for BSC. I'd just like to make a point of order because I don't think we have enough votes to pass. We need at least a majority, which would be 5. So I suggest that maybe we make a motion to move this item to the next meeting so that we have more, or take another vote on it later today when Commissioner Stockwell joins us, if he will join us. So one of those options.
Thank you.
Okay, so
we could take action on this later when other commissioners arrive, or we can also take a motion to put it on the future agenda.
let's go ahead and hold it to the end of the meeting and revisit it and see if we get the other members are able to attend. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion at that point to move it to the next agenda or to the next meeting. Is that okay to do? Looking at council.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we will leave that. If I was in the legislature, I'd say I'd leave that item open. Is that their Brown Act, we're badly keen, so we'll see. Is that okay? All right, right lingo here. Okay, so let's move on.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Through the chair, Commissioner Santillan, just a point of clarification through council. Do we have to be present in order to vote on the minutes? I've asked this question in the past, and I was under the impression that we didn't have to be present. Now, I understand each commissioner may have a different feeling on whether they want to vote when they were present or not, but do we must be present to vote?
Yeah, I think you are correct. There's no specific guideline that says you have to be present to vote, but I think most people feel like if they are not familiar with the matter that took place, then they don't want to vote. So it's a personal preference more than a legal obligation.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on then to agenda item 4C. Commissioners, do you have any comments regarding the March 30th, 2022 meeting minutes? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion on the March 30th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Commissioner Patel, move to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Commissioner Haskins, second.
It has been moved and seconded that the March 30th, 2022 meeting minutes be accepted without amendment. Is there any other further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, we will now have a roll call vote. Ms. Maeda?
Commissioner Legray,
Aye.
Commissioner Mickelton,
Abstain.
Commissioner Stockwell. He still isn't present. I'm sorry. Commissioner Sasaki,
Abstain.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Santillan,
Aye.
Commissioner Haskin.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 in
4 to 2.
favor and 2 abstain.
So we will go ahead and hold this item open till later in the meeting and see if we have sufficient votes. Otherwise, we will revisit. I'll ask for a motion to postpone it to the next commission meeting. All right. At this time, I'd like to move to item number 5. The executive director, Mia Marabelli, will provide an overview of the commission's business. So off to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I have actually a number of items to go through today, so perhaps what I'll do is pause after these so I can get commissioners' feedback or questions from the public. So the first, generally we don't talk a lot about personnel issues at the commission meetings, but these are positive items that I'd like to share with everyone. I'd like to announce that Mr. Kevin Day was selected as the California Building Standards Commission Deputy Executive Director. Unfortunately, Kevin can't be here this morning. He's actually conducting Deputy Executive Director duties elsewhere. So Kevin has been with CBSC since 2010 in a variety of classifications, and had a short stint for a while at the Department of General Services as a legislative analyst. He came back to the Building Standards Commission as a Staff Services Manager 1 in a specialist capacity. And in addition to reviewing state agency rulemaking packages and drafting code change proposals, Kevin oversaw the BSC legislative process at our office, conducting analysis and economic impacts. He was also involved with one of the many website overhauls that we've gone through. He's written legislative reports, and he has been an integral part of the codification and publication of certain parts of Title 24. Kevin's prior experience years ago working at the State and Consumer Services Agency provided him with a very good broad understanding of state government, the administration, the hierarchy, and the politics. So we're very pleased to have Kevin on board as the new Deputy Executive Director. And so cheers to him, but he unfortunately can't speak for himself today because he's has other duties. So I will mention that his promotion obviously leaves a vacancy at our office, and we will be advertising for the Staff Services Manager Specialist in the next month or so. We'll conduct interviews and hopefully hire someone in the next few months. So that's one bit of personnel business. The other item is Katrina Benny, who is behind the scenes on many of the activities that happen here at the Building Standards Commission. She is our office manager, and her classification is also a Staff Services Manager 1. And she leads the administrative team that we have, and she is retiring this spring. So kudos to her. She has been wonderful with giving us a heads up. So the plan here is that she's going to budgetarily, what we call go in the blanket. She's going to go and use her vacation. But in the interim, she's working on hiring someone to backfill her position, and that position will be advertised in the next couple months as well. And we'll be hiring for that. She's going to be gracious enough to overlap her time and try to train the new person that's hired for that position. So we're very grateful for her to take the time to do that. I'll just give you an overview of that position because it's integral and part of our organization. So she supervises the admin team, as I mentioned, but she also oversees the Building Standards Commission's budget process, billing, accounts receivable, all of the HR work, the property leases that we deal with, the SB 1473 Green Fund, the education and outreach, and all the contracts including the Title 24 publication. So she basically ensures that the lights are on and the books are provided. And all the equipment is running that keeps us going. So what we plan on doing is honoring her at the June meeting because she won't be separating from state service. So we'll honor her at that time. But I wanted to give you a heads up. Any questions on personnel issues before I move on to the code cycle activities?
Just a quick note on that. We do have one commissioner on the phone. I just unmuted them, so if they do want to chime in, they are unmuted.
So that's a commissioner on the phone, you said?
One of the commissioners just hopped on the phone.
Okay, gotcha. So the number ending in, and I don't have my glasses on, it ends in 93?
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
This is Commissioner Ramirez calling.
Okay, great.
Thank
So
you.
we'll note that you're here. Perfect.
Yeah, apologies, I can't get connectivity with my internet. Sorry about that.
Okay.
This is Commissioner Sasaki. I just want to, I'm sure all the commissioners have the same sentiments, but we want to congratulate Kevin Day on his appointment to a new position, and then on Katrina on her upcoming retirement. So thank you.
We're going to miss her too. All right. Anybody else before I move on? Okay, good deal. I'm going to share my screen in a minute here. So let me just do a quick recap. So just a reminder for everybody, and very exciting, is the 2022 edition of Title 24 was published last July. And it became effective January 1 of this year. So that's launching the new code changes. The erratas were issued only for specific parts. Those parts are part 2, which is the building code. There was an errata for the residential code, which is part 2.5. There was also an errata issued for part 5, which is the plumbing code. Also the energy code, which is part 6. And then, of course, the fire code, which is part 9. So I just want to remind everyone that if you haven't registered with the publishers, please do so. That can be done on our, through our codes page. At the bottom of the codes page, we have a listing of contact information for the publishers so that you can receive future erratas and supplements. The erratas have been posted to our website and are part of what you see published as the 2022 edition of the codes. I do know that some of those erratas are quite small, so it looks like this code cycle, there were less either publication errors or coordination errors. So that's good news. The next part I'd like to go over is at our October commission meeting, I provided a recap of the many workshops that the Building Standards Commission conducted, but also workshops that the State Fire Marshal conducted and the HCD, and of course, the accessibility work that was being conducted by the Division of the State Architect.
Mia, can I this is Commissioner Sasaki. Can I interrupt just for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks like the speaker screen is moving back and forth between you and I think Commissioner Ramirez.
Okay.
So if he can, he may want to mute his phone. I don't know if he can because he's in, but anyway, it's going back and forth, and I don't know if the YouTube is capturing that back and forth with the
Oh, I appreciate that.
I was gonna say that too, yeah.
Yeah, so
I have it on mute now.
Okay, the speaker screen still shows his phone number coming up, but
right.
If I mute him, he won't be able to mute himself, so he's gonna have to do that on his end.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like it's off now. Okay. Looks like we're off.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you for that. Appreciate that. So during the October meeting, I provided a recap of the many workshops. And then that was also a reminder that as of December 1 of 2022, so just last month, the Building Standards Commission received 28 different rulemaking packages from the various state agencies. The CBSC team has been reviewing those packages for compliance with the Administrative Procedure Act, and we've been preparing them for the upcoming Code Advisory Committee meetings, which is, I know that Mr. Patel was asking a question about that earlier. And so what I'd like to do is share my screen really quickly, and I can show you where that information can be found. And give me 1 second to remind myself of how to share the screen.
That green button.
The green button. Okay. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Can you get me?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That should work. Let's try again. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, let's see what kind of damage I can do. There we go. There we go. Give me 1 second here. Just want to get that going there. All right. So on our webpage, what I've done is gone to the rulemaking tab, which is at the top blue bar. And under rulemaking, you'll come across the different code cycles. And I've clicked on the 2022 Code Advisory Committee meetings. And can everyone see that? And I'm going to scroll down. And what the public will see is all of the Code Advisory Committees that we're conducting this spring, late winter, early spring. And currently, the Health Facilities Code Advisory Committee material has been published on the website. I clicked on that blue bar and it brought up the HCI or OSHPOD, as they were previously known, 2 rulemakings. They're doing something for part 1, and then they're also working on chapter 12 in part 2. So those materials have been sent out to the interested parties, and that meeting material, the meeting notice, and the meeting materials are available on our website. The other Code Advisory Committee information that has been published is access. And I'll click on that now. And again, meeting materials are available, how to join the meeting. And then it's HCD has a code package, and then also DSA has a code package. Both of those are for part 2. So making you aware of that. The next few Code Advisory Committee meetings are green. BFO is combined with SDLF, and I'll explain that, and then PME for plumbing, electrical, mechanical. For green, the information has not been posted yet. It'll be posted Friday. So what we've done for each of the future meetings is let everyone know when the meeting information will be posted. And of course, everyone receives an email blast on that as well. So that just gives you an update on that. So Commissioner Patel, I know you had a question about, has the State Fire Marshal's Office submitted their rulemaking package? The answer is yes, they submitted it back in December, and it will be posted with the BFO and SDLF information on or around February 10th. And if I know they also submitted some code change packages for plumbing, electrical, mechanical, and that information will be posted on or around February 24th. Okay, I hope that helps everyone. And while I look at my notes, commissioners, do you have any questions on that?
Amy, as Commissioner Patel, I just had one comment. I wanted to thank staff for their work with the code advisory committees. A couple of members called me to express their thanks in having staff go over the process for them, explaining sort of what they can do, how the process works, going through the rules of engagement for their meetings. So they really appreciated that. So thank you for that.
Good. Yeah, thank you for that. You know, we understand that there's many code advisory committee members that have been doing this for many years, and so we take for granted that everybody knows the process. So orientation was needed last code cycle and this code cycle, and I think it really helps set the stage for yes, what's expected of them, what's needed by them. And in fact, I'm going to call up our Title 24 PowerPoint here in just a second and recap that information for everyone. Let me just look here. Any other questions? One of the things I'd like to mention about the Code Advisory Committee meetings is they're all going to be conducted virtually. So they'll be just like this meeting. There'll be Zoom meetings, public participation, and you'll see that some of these meetings are multi-day meetings because of either the size of the code packages, the quantity of the code package, and perhaps a higher public interest on those code packages. We try to plan ahead. If there's going to be a lot of public participation, we provide some extra time for public input. So that's just a reminder of how those meetings are conducted. And then I'm going to call up, if anyone has any questions, I'll answer it on the webpage, but the next document I'm going to call up was our PowerPoint. Are we good with this? So this is just a recap of, I don't know how to shrink this thing. Just pull it down here. That's one way to do it. Okay. This is just a recap of our process. I know many of you have seen this PowerPoint before. The pre-cycle has concluded and we received the rulemakings on December 1, and then we're entering into the Code Advisory Committee review. And this is just a list of, this PowerPoint is available on our website in case anybody wants to download it. And the recap of all of the documents that we received. We talked about pre-cycle before, but I appreciate your comment about the Code Advisory Committee meetings, because one of the things we provided in the orientation is the role of the committee, the rulemakings that they'll be provided, and the different actions that they can take. And they're actually recommendations, which are in alignment and very similar to the actions that the commission takes at the end of the process. And we also included citations from the regulations and of course, the Administrative Procedure Act. So what happens after Code Advisory Committee? The state agencies will take into consideration the recommendations provided by the committee members, and they may or may not change their code package based on those recommendations. They can take a look at those recommendations and provide edits if needed. And those edits would be to the express terms and the eyesore. The eyesore is updated and it includes what was the recommendation by the Code Advisory Committee and what action did the state agency do as a result of that recommendation. And that the state agencies then resubmit the code packages back to the Building Standards Commission. So between now and later in the spring, there's a lot of activity of us getting those 28 rulemaking packages again and us reviewing them and getting them ready to post for the 45-day comment period. So that's what will be happening in late February, March, and April. And that timeframe, again, we notice the public and let them know there will be multiple 45-day comment periods. So for example, I'm not going to get this right off the top of my head. I think we've designed this to be a couple of the code packages that are heard early, like HF and Access, will obviously have those 45-day comment periods early in the cycle. And then I think there's one other one. So the commission will then hear those packages in June. We have a 3-day meeting set up. And then some of the other code packages that are later in March will be heard at the August meeting that we have set up. We just scroll through here really quickly, and we've talked about final commission meeting. I don't want to, publication. This gets back to the pyramid, which you all provided feedback on. And, we've had the pre-cycle. We're going to code advisory committee hearings now. They're going to comply with Bagley-Keene. We've got the public comment period, which is required per the Administrative Procedure Act as well. And then, of course, in June and August, we'll hear the rulemaking. So the bulk of the workload occurred in pre-cycle, and the fine tuning can occur throughout this process. But we're at a point now where we can't be introducing, substantive changes or new changes, because we also have that other path happening of the economic and fiscal impact is being reviewed by the Department of Finance. So that's just a recap of the process. I think I'm going to go back to our web page here just to see if I can show you on our commission meeting dates that we have listed. And I'll scroll down. We have those also on our web page. So you'll see that we tentatively have scheduled an April 20th meeting, but the rulemakings won't be heard until June and August. So any questions before, because that pretty much concludes my overview, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
This is Commissioner Ramirez. I have one question.
Yes, sir.
That is, with respect to any changes, I read in the materials you sent out, thank you for sending all those materials out earlier, that you can only change anything that's been a part of the deliberations previously. Is that correct? And so therefore, in this pyramid, everything is starts at the bottom of the pyramid. Are those all considered deliberations?
Yeah, so I'll try to think of an example here. So several of the state agencies are promulgating regulations for carbon reduction. And we had 4 workshops with the interested parties over the last spring and this summer. And those rulemakings are going to be heard by the Code Advisory Committee at the Green meeting. And so an example would be if someone were to look at a different portion of Cal Green, the code that's being modified, and select a different topic like water reduction, which is not being proposed this code cycle, that would be introducing a new topic that wasn't considered during pre-cycle. So that's kind of a broad answer to your question, and I hope that helps. But there are nuances to that when you're actually looking at the regulations themselves that are being proposed. There are nuances to what can be massaged during the rulemaking cycle versus what would be considered a topic that hasn't been discussed. So,
Thank you.
oh, certainly, certainly. Anyone else have a question? Okay, Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to remind the public who wish to speak on item number 5 to put yourself in the queue now by raising your hand feature in the Zoom, or listen if you'd like on the phone line. We'll put you in that queue as well. Ms. Tersley, is there anybody on Zoom that would like to make a public comment?
There are no hands raised. I'm gonna give permission to the phone participants. If anybody has a comment?
Anybody on the telephone that would like to make a comment? All right, well, this concludes the public comment portion of this item, and there is no action required for item number 5. So let's go ahead and move on to item number 6. And actually, do I want to go back? Let's go back, hold on. Before we take up future items, and actually, do we have,
Well, we have Mr. Ramirez on the line now.
but I don't know if that's sufficient votes. So Ms. Barbu, do you recommend we put over that item for B and C?
So let's ask Commissioner Ramirez if he participated in the June 26th and March 30th meetings. I don't recall if he did. And if he did, then we could probably take another vote.
I did
No,
participate.
that would still, if that would push us over, because that's still not a majority. That's fine, we will do that. Mr. Ramirez, we're gonna go back to item number 4, which was the meeting minutes for, hold on one second, for 2 of these meetings. January 26th, 2022. The current vote on here is for recommending approval, and 2 were abstentions. Would you care to vote on the January 26th, 2022 minutes?
I did not participate in that meeting, so I suspect I would have to abstain.
Correct. Okay, thank you. And now, so then, can I entertain a motion now, Ms. Barbu, to move the, so I would like to entertain a motion from the commission to move the meeting minutes for January 26, 2022 to our next commission meeting.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
Commissioner Sasaki moved to approve that.
Do I have a second?
Commissioner Allegre seconds.
I got
Having
Lay
it.
Gray, second.
Having a first and a second, are there any other comments or discussions from the commission members on this item? If not, Ms. Maeda, can you take a vote on that, please?
Okay. Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Santillan,
Aye.
Commissioner Haskin,
Aye.
Commissioner Legray,
Aye.
Commissioner Mikitin,
Aye.
Commissioner Sasaki,
Aye.
so we have 6.
Seven.
Yeah, 7.
Okay. With unanimous,
7.
that item will be taken up at a future meeting. So I'd like to go back to agenda item number 4C, which was the approval of the March 30th, 2022 meeting minutes. The current vote is 4 in favor, 2 abstentions. Mr. Ramirez, would you care to vote on the March 30th, 2022 meeting minutes?
Yes, I did attend. That was my very first meeting, and I vote aye.
Okay.
Aye. And so a vote for that is 5 in favor and 2 abstentions.
Right.
And so I'm looking to council to see how we count.
Yeah, so I believe we need a majority, which I believe is 5.
Which means 5. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I never know if I like count or not on this whole thing. Okay, so with the vote of 5 in favor and 2 abstentions, the meeting minutes for March 30th, 2022 are approved. Thank you. So now I'm going to skip back ahead to where we left off. Thank you so much for that, everyone. So now going back to agenda item number 6, which is future agenda items. Do any of the commissioners have any items they wish to have placed on future agendas? No? Okay. Are there any public comments? Do I take public comment on this item? Yes. Is there any public comment on item number 6, which is future agenda items? Anyone in the queue, Ms. Trusley, sorry.
Okay. There are no hands raised. Is there anyone on the phone that wants to comment?
And nobody on the telephone. Thank you so much. That concludes the public comment portion of agenda 6. And with that, that was it, folks. This concludes the California Building Standards Commission meeting. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is Commissioner Mickelson. I just actually have one follow-up question. I was trying to find the place in the rules where it talks about voting, and for future reference, especially, I just want to make sure that my understanding was that if we have a quorum, that it's a majority of the people who are in the meeting that are required for a passing of a motion. But it sounds like even though we have 4 out of 6, which is a majority of the quorum, that's not something that can be voted on. Can I get further clarification on that?
I believe you are correct. Yeah, I didn't have the rules right in front of me. I know it's a majority of those present, but I wasn't sure. The counting for me, the way I'm seeing the folks on the screen, it seemed like it was always 1 off. So I was kind of hesitating in favor of being a little bit more cautious. So yeah, I believe you're correct. It's a majority of the quorum that is present.
So
okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So I'd like to make a motion then that we go back and reconsider the January 26th, I think it was, meeting minute approval. And also that I make a motion that we approve it.
Okay, so the first motion is to reconsider the January 26, 2022 minutes today. Do I have a second on that item?
Commissioner Haskin, I second.
All right, is there any other discussion on this? Otherwise, we're taking the vote to be able to reconsider, and then I'm going to ask for your vote on it. So we will have a vote to reconsider. Ms. Mayeda, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Abstain?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Santillan,
Aye.
Commissioner Haskin,
Aye.
Commissioner Alegre,
Aye.
Commissioner Sasaki,
Aye.
Commissioner Mickelson.
Aye.
3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 in favor and
That
1
motion-
abstain. Yes.
That motion. The meeting minutes for January 26th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from January 26th, 2022?
Commissioner Mickelson, so moved.
Commissioner Alegre seconds.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any additional comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Abstain?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Santillan,
Aye.
Commissioner Haskin,
Abstain.
Commissioner Alegre,
Aye.
Commissioner Sasaki,
Abstain.
Commissioner Mickelton.
Aye.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
With a vote of 4 in favor and 3
Yes.
abstentions,
Yes.
that motion carries. So the January 26th, 2022 meeting minutes are approved. So thank you. And that is a fantastic clarification on the rules, that it is a majority of those voting and present. So thank you. So now I would like to move to, or entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting of the California Building Standards Commission. Do I have a motion?
Commissioner Mickelton, move to close the meeting.
Do I have a
Commissioner
second?
Santillan, second.
Santillan.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners in favor, just indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed indicate by saying no. If there is an abstention, please state so. Thank you all. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you all.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.